Chapter 5 of our text deals with researching and supporting material. A preview of Chapter 5 includes the following. 1, develop a research strategy. 2, support your speech by using correct supporting material. And then 3, document your information accurately in the presentation itself. So you've chosen a topic and you've figured out that your general purpose is to inform for the first 2 presentations anyway. The third one is to persuade. And you figured out your specific purpose and you've written it out in terms of the audience will. You know what you want your audience to do at the end of your speech or as a result of your speech. It's time now to research your topic and search for appropriate supporting material that is relevant to your audience. Notice the key thing. So start out with what you do know. That's always important. That's why the first speech is a who am I really speech. You don't have to go outside of yourself. Look for external sources for the who am I really presentation. It's all about who you are. Now you may ask some friends, family members, significant others. That's fine. So start with who you are. For the other presentations, the informative and persuasive speech, you also start with what you know and who you are, but you can't stop there. It's not sufficient. You need to move on because the purpose of the presentation is different. So to a large extent, your listeners will evaluate your speech on the amount and relevance of your supporting material and also the types of supporting material that you used. So it's amount, relevance, and the variety of supporting material. Once you have a topic, you need to stay focused on your specific purpose. Keep your audience in mind, and then search for reliable, credible information that will provide the most effective support for your ideas. So I have a nice graphic in the PowerPoint, and it has kind of a cylinder of sorts. And in that cylinder, you have 3 concepts that are interacting. 1 is your topic / thesis statement. 2 is your purpose, and 3 is your audience. And as those 3 interact, your supporting material is going to be based on the interaction of those 3 items: topic, purpose, and audience. So what does research provide for you? Well, it provides the foundation for your speech. It helps to enhance your knowledge beyond what you already know by giving you some tools to expand your thesis now. And you know what you want to do. You have a topic, you have a thesis statement, but that's all that you have. Research helps you to expand it into a full-length presentation. As you research, you may find out that sometimes, as a result of that research, it might lead you to a slightly different version of your speech than you originally anticipated. As facts emerge, you may expand your idea in one place, streamline it in another, or take it apart to accommodate new information. And then ultimately, you're going to piece it all together, put an introduction and a conclusion to it. Supporting materials is what you use. It's the information that you use in a particular way to make your case. Very often, supporting material is first and foremost just raw information. It's as you take it and organize it and put it in its proper place to give it significance that it becomes useful. Supporting material includes examples, testimonies, statistics, facts, analogies. The types of supporting material that you use will probably vary depending on your topic, your specific purpose, and your audience. Again, notice those 3 in interaction. Examples serve as support that illustrate a point or a claim, and we'll come back to that later. So how do you go about the process of developing a research strategy? For any presentation, you need to know the length of the presentation, the audience that you will speak before in terms of audience analysis, their expectations in terms of topic, content, and then also finally the most effective types of supporting material for that audience. So we've looked at analyzing the audience quite a bit in the previous chapter. But let me say this, you do need to take into account the needs, interests, and skill level of your audience. You need to find out what their beliefs, attitudes, values, and behavior constitute. You may develop some questions based on your understanding of the needs of your audience. And if you're able to do some audience analysis and a survey, you can increase the likelihood of establishing a speaker-audience connection. So relevance and connection are the two key things when making a presentation in front of an audience. Assess your knowledge and skill. What knowledge or skills do I have in relation to this topic? Personal knowledge is always better than just research, external research by itself. Having the two together make for a better connection with the audience and a better presentation. Be aware that speaking about something that is new to you, completely new, may increase your apprehension and may lead audiences to view you as less credible. So be careful with that one. I found out that if students choose a very technical topic, it increases their apprehension and they struggle with it as well. Part of developing a research strategy is searching print and online sources, resources, and you know how to do this. You've taken a class at the local at our library. Our librarians have taken you through this. But I want you to remember that as you search, remember to narrow your focus. Very often, students will take a very large topic and it's way too big for a 5 to 7 minute or 8 to 10 minute presentation. So you have to narrow your focus. Remember also there's a relationship between the length of your speech and the amount of time you must spend in research. And you've got to figure that out for yourself. Finding information is not enough. You must also be able to evaluate it and to use it in the most appropriate way to achieve your specific audience to achieve your specific purpose for this particular audience. So as you search, a keyword search looks for words or phrases. Primary sources are first-hand accounts, diaries, journals, letters, speeches, those interviews. Secondary sources provide an analysis, an explanation, or a restatement of a primary source. So as you evaluate information online, especially, there are 5 criteria that the text reminds us to put into effect. First one is authority, and this relates to the concept of credibility. You need to figure out whether the person that you are quoting is an expert. Are they credible? 2, accuracy. Is the information reliable? Does it support what it says it supports? Is it current and error-free? Does the information contradict or confirm what is in the primary sources? Are there references given to the sources of that information? 3rd is objectivity, information that is fair and unbiased. And remember, again, to a certain degree, none of us are totally objective. So you have to plan for some amount of bias, point of view. 4th is coverage. That is the depth and breadth of the material. Is the information common knowledge? Is it too basic? Is it too technical? And then currency, how timely? Is it up to date? Is the material up to date? You may want to interview if you have the opportunity to do so, especially if you can't find information in published sources. You might have the opportunity of interviewing an expert. So by talking to an expert, you can clarify questions and fill in knowledge gaps, and you may learn a whole lot more about a subject than you anticipated. What can you do? What should you do? Some do's and don'ts. 1, contact the person well in advance. Remember, you need the information, so you at their beck and call. Prepare questions in advance and maybe submit those questions in advance to the person so they know exactly the nature of the questions that you will ask them. Develop questions in a logical order so that they do develop, one leads to the other, and that they build, and then stay within the agreed time frame. So we'll get to the next section that deals with supporting your speech in the next video segment.